Howdy and welcome. You are listening to A Mom's Guide to Wine, a guided wine tasting with candid reflections on motherhood. Here we spill the tea, but never the wine. We're your hosts, Eliza James
and Rosie Gold,
and we are so glad you joined us for today's tasting adventures.
Full disclosure, for those with little ears around, 90% of our topics and language will be more on the R rating scale. Also, we are not professionals or experts. We are simply sharing our experiences and including some Google searches for support. We are amateur wine enthusiasts and professional moms. That is our skill set.
That's it. That's all we got. And today we have children.
We try really hard.
Today we have children at home, and so I apologize in advance.
They're playing outside.
We're going to try to
They're perfectly happy.
It out. But sometimes noises slip through. I hear them opening and closing doors. Y'all probably can't hear that. But I can hear it. There's a rooster outside that's not happy that children are outside. And so he's crowing for no freaking reason.
And they probably got the bubble machine going.
And it's just probably pure chaos. But the men folk got this. So we're just going to let him roll. We're going to let it roll. But first, the wine. And today's wine is Devin's Texas Pecan Spiked Root Beer.
Root beer?
Root beer! I was so excited. So I stumbled across this when I was going to my mom for a holiday celebration, and we got to bring our own adult beverages, and I'm like, that's cool. Like, I'm down for that. So we swung into the nearest HEB, because HEBs in Houston are massive and carry so much good selection.
Oh, they're so pretty, too, on the inside.
Yeah, they're really nice. We don't have, we have like one that looks like that, I guess. Mm-hmm. But only one out of, we got 5 here.
I have no idea.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, but I stumbled across this gem. I'm super excited about it. It is a Houston-based beverage. I can't find it here locally, so you can only get it in Houston.
So you gotta stock up when you go to Houston.
Yeah, and I'm encouraging everybody else to stock up because this stuff's freaking amazing.
I have not had it.
I've had several. Not today. Not today, but in the past for the holiday, you know. So, so the story is that this guy used to be a cashier at a liquor store.
Okay.
And then he
got some good ideas.
So he got some good ideas. And apparently he was like, you know what? I should take my show on the road. And so he started making his own brew. And I think I read on one of the articles, because there's several news companies who covered him in the last year out of Houston. And they said like in 2015 he started making this, but it hasn't really taken off until recently. And so...
Isn't that like most things?
Yeah. Yeah, like he's got a nice, good struggle story going. I love that. So here's a little bit about him. Passionate as crafting beverage enthusiasts and culinary aficionados, we found ourselves irresistibly drawn to the idea of renovating a beloved childhood classic. Picture a sensory journey where you're greeted by the alluring sense of Tahitian vanilla and rich chocolate, followed by the crisp effervescent? I can't pronounce
Effervescent?
Effervescent? There we go. Finish of a well-crafted beverage.
Sounds
it's the
good
perfect
to me.
fusion of nostalgia and sophistication. All the charm of a root beer while adding a touch of grown-up allure.
That's so funny.
I know, right? At Devin Spiked Root Beer, we take pride in our commitment to combining time-honored tradition with a dash of contemporary innovation. Our goal is to create an experience that not only tantalizes your taste buds, but evokes a sense of childlike wonder and joy. Yes. So,
it does sound really pretty.
I love it.
And I'm all about root beer. We're good.
Like, root beer is my thing. So they have an original, which is your basic bitch root beer.
Okay.
You got your Devin's.
But spiked.
Obviously, they're spiked. They're for adults. They have the Texas Pecan. They have a orange cream, a vanilla cream, which I think sounds amazing.
I wonder if my mom would try that orange cream. She loves those little popsicles that come in the freezer.
I bet she would. I bet she'd probably make a popsicle
Orange-sicle? I don't remember what they're called.
Yeah, I think so. Creamsicles.
Creamsicles!
There you go.
That sounds right.
Yeah. They also have a dark cherry.
Oh my goodness, what if we poured one of those over a creamsicle in a glass? Oh. Mind blown.
We're going to have to try it. I'm going to have to find some, and we're going to have to try this.
That sounds amazing.
So, another flavor they have on their website is a chocolate.
It's like a root beer float.
You know what? I bet if you poured the chocolate over vanilla ice cream, that would be the shit.
Oh, it would
be like
amazing.
a sundae.
Yes.
In a root beer.
Throw a banana in it. You know what? We're going to try a whole dessert line. Are we just hungry?
Maybe we're hungry.
We're going to try a whole dessert line with Devin and let him know.
Yeah, we're going to be trying all your things, Devin. So my take from some of his interviews and stuff is that this guy doing this, he's considered the brewer, the salesman, the delivery man, and I believe he says the bottler or / canner because these are in cans as well.
Oh, fun.
So he seems cool.
And ready on the go.
And on the go. So
which a lot of us are.
These are a can. This is also 8% alcohol to volume. So
it looks like a beer can.
Yeah, or soda. It's like, yeah.
I really like the label. It's super, like, you know how they do, like, those stamp labels for a lot of companies now that are kind of minimalistic? Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah, it's very clean. This can is bright blue and very pretty. And
I like pecans.
And I love pecans.
I like root beer. I like blue. Let's go for it.
Let's do it. Ready? We're going to pop the top. There it goes. Ta-da!
Thank you, Devin.
Thank you, Devin. And now we'll pour. A little bit for Rosie there. All right, you ready? Let's try this.
I can smell it from over here.
So that was my first thing when
it smells like such a pretty,
right, like
soft root beer.
Like the first thing I noticed when I opened it was that it smells like root beer. So I have a problem with a lot of adult beverages say that they are this drink, but they don't smell like it and they very rarely taste like it.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna like this. Go for it.
This one's like when you go into a fancy restaurant and they have root beer and they have it like some kind
of on tap.
Yes, that's what it smells like.
Root beer is
okay, let me try it.
It reminds me of like the A&W root beers where they'd have it on tap and you could get a cold glass.
Oh, it's
like
so
the vanilla.
caramelly.
Yeah, you can taste the caramel. And it tastes like a pecan has been dipped in caramel. Like, this is good.
Oh my goodness, it's like a pecan praline. It is. It is. You know what? We just found our next dessert. We're going to pour this with our pecan bars.
There you go.
That I love to make.
There you go. Bam. Sold. Thanks, Devin. I hope the guy's name is Devin, because otherwise...
I don't know if it's his intention that people are like, automatically, let's do dessert with his spiked root beers, but it really
it's working
just sounds
for me.
Good.
It works for me.
I may have just opened him up to a whole new line of things.
Do desserts, Devin. Do desserts. All right. Enough about wine.
It tastes really great. I like it.
I know. Your husband's going to like that you like this.
You know, before I came here, he told me, he said, drink a whole bottle of wine for me.
And you were like, okay, not happening.
Now I can go back and say, oh, I'll drink a whole can for you.
There you go. I'm telling you what.
Oh, my cheeks are getting a little warm.
So this will go straight to your head, so be careful. I speak from experience. But enjoy. It's really good. So today, in Season 3, Episode 3, we are talking about crying babies. Why are they crying? And how to soothe them. That's it. That's what we're going to cover today.
You know, sometimes that's super complicated, and other times it's not at all.
Yeah, it's... Because babies' only form of communication is crying, and so that's the only way that they can tell you, I'm happy, I'm sad, I need something, I want something, I want you to hold me, I want you to put me down. But you can... When they start teaching sign language at 3, 4 months?
I don't know. I think it's around 4 months, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
Until your babies learn a different way to communicate, crying is how they tell you everything. Maybe not when they're happy, but...
No.
But you get it, right? Like, I need to eat. I'm uncomfortable because I have a wet diaper. Because they can cry for any reason. Wet, hungry, dirty, overwhelmed, underwhelmed, needing attention, not wanting attention, pick me up, put me down, hold me, don't hold me, I'm cold, I'm hot. Yeah. Is the fan on? I want the fan on, I want the fan off.
There's an odd odor today.
Yeah, they cry for anything, right? Changes in perfume and colognes can totally set that off.
I think you're not supposed to really do heavy cologne and perfumes around younger babies.
You shouldn't, because it really does overwhelm their senses. Yeah. But if they are used to your soaps that you use as a mom or a dad, or maybe a close grandparent who's always with them, you change that and the babies can suddenly not want to be with you anymore.
It's like when people say that you pick up a baby animal on the side of the road and you make it smell like you and the mama doesn't want it anymore.
No. Because they've actually discovered most of that's false.
Okay.
So, good news. It's not necessarily true for most animals, but some, yes.
It confuses them.
It can confuse them. I think deer's the big one. Because they don't want their babies smelling like you. But
They're
birds,
also super sensitive.
Birds, you can totally pick them up and put them back in the
aren't we
nest.
considered like a predator to them? Our smell?
Yeah, so don't touch the baby deer. Baby birds is fine. Just pick them up, put them back in their nest. They'll be alright. So...
Until they fall again.
We just keep sidetracking.
Anyway.
But they say that the more time you spend with your baby, the more you can learn to differentiate the different types of cries. And there's been so much scientific research into this, like identifying babies and their cries, that you can literally go on Google and Google the types of baby cries there are.
Yeah, I've seen a video on YouTube, I think, that had each little baby doing a certain cry, and they were like enunciating certain syllables within their cry, and it was like a nah or a eh, like different noises, and it kind of they explained it of like whether it was guttural, and so like it was maybe abdominal from the abdomen, maybe he needs to go potty, those things.
Yes, and so it's very fascinating. So you can literally spend time with your baby and learn what it is that they are crying for. Of course, if you can't figure that out, you have to go through all the motions of figuring it out. I always started with checking diapers, then thinking, how long has it been since I fed them? If I just fed them an hour ago, it could be gas. And so then you want to rub the tummy and kind of help ease it in that method. Maybe they're tired because they've been up for several hours, and they're babies. Babies don't stay up all day like our toddlers do these days.
Or maybe you went to a store and there was too many people talking at the baby.
And now they're overwhelmed, and you need to put them in a quiet room with the lights dimmed maybe, like, and swaddle them. Like, there's different things that you can do.
Mine was always noise, poop, or food.
Yeah, that was...
Too much noise was really common for mine.
Yeah. I was trying to think. My youngest, his big one was he did not like to be dirty. Mine could sit in poopy shorts for a while. He probably still could if he pottied himself. I think that's why this one potty trained so quickly, is because he didn't like it. And so...
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
I think that when we gave him
he was
the
like,
option...
absolutely not.
Yeah, the option of independence, he was like, I will never go back again.
Mine was the option of standing like Superman facing the toilet. That was the aha moment. Because if we're sitting on the toilet, it was like, no, I don't want none of that. But for some reason, we would pee at the toilet. So I guess I'm lucky that he's a boy, because he was ready to do that.
There you go. That makes it easy. My daughter did not potty train very easily, and she didn't potty train until after she was 3, and she was totally cool with sitting in her poop all day. She didn't care. She didn't bother her a bit. So all
Which
kids
is
are
probably
different.
way worse for UTI problems in children.
But all kids are different. And so, but the hungry and the wet, dirty cries, I feel like, are the easiest to fix, because it's just diaper change and food.
You don't have to think that too far into it.
Usually you can look at a watch and check a diaper and go, that's the problem.
There it is.
I feel like those are the easiest. It gets very difficult when you are trying to figure out, I've done these things, now what? Right? Like, those are the ones that I think most people struggle with. I know I struggled with. Attention cries, I feel like, are very difficult, because the baby's needing something, right? And you've narrowed down, it's not food, and it's not a clean diaper. So now what? Is it the fan's on, the fan's off?
Right.
Is it room's too bright, room's too dark? Is it you're holding me, you're not holding me? Is it I want to be swaddled, I'm tired of being swaddled? Is it tummy time sucks? Or put me back on my tummy? Like, there's so many things.
My head hurts because I have an ear infection coming in.
Oh my gosh, yes. And they will cry for what seems
days
like
before.
No reason, but it's because they know they're hurting, and you, as the parent, it takes what I usually figured out by the time there was a fever and drainage out of an ear.
Yeah.
Because that's the only signs you have, is that suddenly they've spiked a fever and you're like, what the hell? And then their ears are drained, you're like, well, that's gross.
Mine always cried a couple of days before for like nonstop.
And that made it easy to determine.
And that's when I started going, you know what? You have an ear infection.
Yeah.